Good morning, everyone, and welcome to TDJ20 Technological Design. I'll be your instructor for the course. My name is Grayson Mitchell. Today's class is going to be on the design process and introduction to technical reporting. One of the goals of this course is for students to assess products using appropriate tools, techniques, and strategies. One of those strategies being writing reviews on products and analyzing new products that are coming onto the market. In this class, we'll be covering these issues, and we'll be doing a little bit of introduction to technical reporting. Any career that you're going to go into or any further in school that you go, you're going to be required to do technical reports, any type of in-office communication such as memos or incident reports. There's lots of different applications for using the technical writing tools. That being said, I'll continue with the presentation here. These are some fundamental things about your technical reporting. In today's class, you'll be doing an assignment where you select a new or existing product that has been innovated or improved in some way and re-released to the market. I just want to go over some fundamentals of your writing for when you prepare your summary review later in class today. My first heading here, use technical terminology but keep it light enough that the reader can understand. So the goal is in a review or a summary of a technological product, a new product that's out on the market. You want to be able to use industry-specific terminology because that'll be essential to describing what the process of development or design for the product is, or what its composition, its building materials are. But you don't want to get too technical. You don't want to be writing things that people are going to not understand, or that your reader is going to have to be looking up words every 30 seconds during the reading. So try to keep the terminology, your vocabulary, specific to what you're writing about, but don't get so in depth into that technical terms that it can't be understood by one of your peers or your teacher in the class reading it. It's a formal style of writing, but it needs to be clear, concise, and simplified. You're not writing a story here. Like, this isn't supposed to be elaborative in the way that you're using a lot of descriptive words unless they're specific to technology or the specific product that you're using. You don't want to get into a lot of alliteration or literary techniques that you would use in fictional writing or writing stories. I have here logical writing. So you want to keep your writing focused on the topic at hand, being the product that you're introducing with this summary review. It's a work of nonfiction, so you're not really making things up to include in your writing. Again, I said, like, it's not a story. This is a formal review of a product that's coming out, so you want to keep all your content relatable to that topic. When writing, use concise sentences. Draw conclusions. Any inferences that you put in or personal opinions during your piece, you want to have some support there so that you're not just pulling up ideas until you get to a reflective part, maybe your ending paragraph or a point where you make emphasis that you're sort of giving your personal opinion. Like anything, always use correct grammar and spelling in your report. I expect I'll be marking for that. I'll be looking for those mistakes and grading based on that. Personalization. So here I want to talk about your choice for the assignment today. You'll be more engaged in your research and your discussion and your paper if you enjoy the subject matter. So ideally, you want to choose something that you have interest in. Like when you're looking for a new product, something that's related to technological design, it can be it's a very broad-based subject. So you could choose something from, say, if you enjoy bicycling, it could be some new technology, it could be a bike part that's just come out or just been innovated in some way, if that's what you're into. It could be something related to sports. There's all kinds of technology used in sports. I mean, the implements, the bats, the golf clubs, the tennis rackets, they're all a product of technological design because they get improved. They want to be lighter. They want to hit harder. There's all kinds of elements that can be looked into. And just make sure that you enjoy the subject matter, because you'll be more engaged and more passionate about it when you're writing. It's better to write about something that you know, like something that you have some familiarity or experience with, because that will assist you when you're writing it, because you'll have a frame of reference from your own paradigm of understanding for it and memories of using these tools or whatever it is, riding these bicycles, for example. It'll make your content a lot easier to be read and understood by your peers and or your teacher. During your analysis during your research portion, think about how your topic affects you personally, because it is good to add some aspect of that personality to your writing so that it makes it easier for someone who's reading it to identify with. You could talk about what you like or what you dislike about the design or the new design, or if you prefer something that was existing as opposed to your new design. Again, number 4, if you've tried the product that you're reviewing, include your personal experience, your take on the design, whatever your opinion was when you tried out the product or purchased the product. Keep it simple. Always a good thing to remember when writing any kind of paper. Make sure to choose a topic that's not too overcomplicated. Make sure that you can understand the terminology. Something that's like, we're looking for something that is a technological design, but it doesn't have to be super overcomplicated for you to write about it. Like, you don't have to write about the internal workings of a new motherboard that came out for a computer. You want to keep it somewhere where you can understand the language, and then obviously review and make a summary of the paper. So you don't want it to be filled with a bunch of words or industry-specific terms that you don't understand, because it'll make it very difficult for you to write about, and it probably won't make a whole lot of sense when it gets read. You also want to choose something that is sort of interesting to your reader. So something that has commonalities between your peers, or between something that anyone can basically pick up and read and enjoy, and maybe take something away from after they're completed reading your paper. Use language that you understand when you write. So you don't want to try to make it so wordy in some way to impress the reader. Like, ideally you're writing a technical report that's a summary of a product, so you want someone else to be able to understand it without being confused by the language that you're using. Here I have a few of the steps of the design process we've been over before in class. I just wanted to use these topics for when you're writing your review, or analyzing the article that you read and the product, that you can try and take something from these and include them, identify them and include them in your assignment to show your literacy and your understanding of the design process, which we've studied previously in class. First step being define the problem. So in the case of choosing a product, there's going to be some need or problem that the product addresses, and that's essentially what creates the demand for it in today's market. Second stage is the collection of information. That might be any of the data that has been researched during the development of the product. It could be anything from analysis of existing products and why they need to be improved, and why they need something like a product to replace them, or a product that will make them better. It could also be information on the need of a specific subculture or a society group of people, any of these. the brainstorm and analysis phase. If this shows or if it's discussed in the article that you choose, this is part of pre-development. So where did the idea come from? Ideally, who came up with it? Was it a mix of ideas? Was it a mix of solutions put together? Sometimes the brainstorming process will be talked about in this type of article. Development. Essentially, development is when the product actually goes into production. It may start, typically it starts with model prototype phase. So there can be, for example, at a car show, they might have prototype vehicles that aren't actually in production or for sale, but it comes with the new concepts that an automobile company has been using and developing for vehicles that potentially will go on the market. Feedback. That is, again, a lot of times in production, it'll be done by test groups. So before a product or service is released, it will go through test groups to get feedback on it. What did you like about it? What don't you like about it? How could we make it better? These types of questions, right? Last phase being improving the design, always going back to the drawing board after some feedback has been received. Test group, anything. It could be professional advice, peer advice. We can then go back. It could be something that comes from our own thoughts and improve on our design or our product. In this case, you can also add in your paper any ways you thought that you personally would like to see an improvement in the product. So that concludes my lesson for this morning, and we're going to go right ahead and get into our class, and we'll review some of these topics, and I'll answer any questions that you students may have. Thank you very much.